Hello everyone, today we are going to be factoring trinomials when we have a leading coefficient of 1. So our goal today is that I can factor a trinomial with a leading coefficient of 1. So we're going to start off by just kind of reviewing what we did with multiplication a couple days ago. And we're going to look for a pattern here. So on this first one, if I multiply these two together, I have x times x, that's x squared, plus 2x, plus 3x, plus 6. I'm going to combine like terms. So these are like terms. I get x squared plus 5x plus 6. Okay, so that is the product of these. Okay, on this one, I'm just going to go ahead and multiply these together. I'm going to get x squared plus 6x plus 5. So that's the product of these. X squared plus 3x minus 10 is going to be the product of those. And x squared minus 7x plus 12 is going to be the pattern of those. Okay, so what I want you to do right now is just pause the video and look for a pattern to just what's going on here. Do you notice any kind of pattern? So pause the video now. Okay, so what you should notice here is this middle term, this 5, is coming from 3 plus 2, okay? And let's look, does that happen every time? Yes, 6 is 1 plus 5. 3 is negative 2 plus 5. And then negative 7 is negative 3 plus a negative 4. Okay, so we get negative 7. Another thing we should notice is that 6 is the product of these two numbers. Okay, so 3 times 2 is 6. 1 times 5 is 5. Negative 2 times 5 is negative 10. Negative 3 times negative 4 is positive 12. Okay, so if you notice that pattern, today's lesson is going to be pretty simple. So when I'm trying to factor trinomials, if I'm given the standard form, which is ax squared plus bx plus c, what I want to do is I want to find factors of c that add to make b. All right, so whatever number this is right here, we're going to factor it. And then I'm going to find factors of that number that add to make this number right here. Okay, so if I can find those factors, then these things are factorable. If I can't find them, which is possible, this doesn't always work. If I can't find factors, then this thing does not factor, and it'll just stay as what it is. Okay, and after we factor it, our factors, if our leading coefficient is 1, which it will always be today, like this, our factors will look like this: x plus a number and x plus a number. And those numbers are going to be whatever the factors are that we find. So let's check out a couple of examples here. So first one, x squared plus 6x plus 8. So here's what I'm going to do every time. This last number right here, I'm going to factor it. So 8, and I'm going to divide that by 1. And when I divide 8 by 1, I get 8. So that means that 1 and 8 are factors of 8. And then if I divide by 2, I get 4. So that means that 2 and 4 are also factors of 8. If I try to divide by 3, I get a decimal. So that means 3 is not a factor. And then we are back around to 4. So that means that these are all of the factors of 8. So now we want to figure out which set of these factors add to make 6. Okay, and 2 plus 4 is 6. And I can kind of search around. I can change signs if I have to or whatever. But 2 plus 4 is 6. So those are the factors that I want because they also multiply to make 8. So I just have to put an x in front of each of these. So x plus 2 and x plus 4, those are the factors of this trinomial. Okay, so let's look at this other one over here. So I have negative 6. Okay, and I'm just going to pretend that negative's not there for a second. If I divide by 1, I get positive 6. If I divide by 2, I get positive 3, and there's nowhere else I can go. I already have 3 here. So those are all of my factors of 6. So I want to find factors that make 5, okay? And you may notice there's 2 different ways that we can make 5 here, okay? So I could have a -1 and a +6, or we could have 2 and 3. Both of those make 5, all right? But only one of these works, because these also have to multiply to make that -6. So these 2 do not make -6 because they're both positive. If this is negative, we must have one negative and one positive. So our factors must be -1 and 6. So we have x minus 1, x plus 6. Okay, here's another example. So -63. So I want to find factors of -63. So again, just start off pretending it's positive. So 1 and 63. It's an odd number, so 2 does not divide it. 3 and 21 are factors. No even number is going to divide this because it's odd. 5 is not a factor. 7 is a factor. So 7 and 9, okay? So those are all of my factors. I want to find 2 factors that add to make +2. So what I can do here is I can make the 7 a negative. So -7 plus 9, that is +2. Also go back and make sure that they multiply to make -63. So one of them has to be negative, one of them has to be positive, which is what we have here. So our factors are x minus 7 and x plus 9. And those are our factors. All right, next one, factor -42. Okay, so 1 and 42 are factors, 2 and 21, 3 and 14, 4 does not divide it, 5 does not divide it, 6 and 7 are factors, okay? And notice there's not a number in front of this x right here, so we're gonna assume that that is a 1, okay? So we want numbers that add to make a +1. So we must have a -6 and a +7. That is what we are looking for, okay? And those also, since we're multiplying to make it negative, I have to have one positive, one negative, which we have here. So my factors will be x minus 6, x plus 7, okay? And then here's a couple more examples. So here I'm trying to find factors of -2. So 1 and 2, and that's it. Those are my only factors here. These numbers have to add to make -1. So the only way that I can make -1 is if I have 1 minus 2. Okay, the bigger number has to be negative here to make a negative. So that's it. Factors are x plus 1 and x minus 2. And then last example, -28. So 1 and 28 are factors, 2 and 14 are factors, 3 does not divide it, but 4 and 7 do. And then 5 and 6 are not factors. So that's all we have here. And then these have to add to make -3. So the only way that I can make -3 is by doing 4 minus 7. So those are the factors I want. So the factors of this thing are going to be x plus 4 and x minus 7. Okay? So please go to Canvas and practice this, and it's really important that you guys understand how to do these and that you're comfortable doing them and able to do them efficiently, because this will show up in a lot of topics that we'll see moving forward. So please let me know if you have any questions, and have a great day.